All right, y'all. Welcome in season 2, episode 8. This is The Bros Watch the Boys. I apologize for looking like a goober. I had to shave my beard for reasons we won't get into now, but it had to be done. So I apologize for looking like this. I guess whatever. Bro, season finale, season 2 finale of The Boys. Um, Lived up to all my expectations.
Well,
Threw me in a
it
couple
definitely
different
did.
directions that I wasn't. We every episode we kind of give our predictions of where we think it's gonna go. Um, this is this was a little different. So Vigates, brother, allo.
It was very different. I was going constantly in between gasping and laughing and having a dozen different exclamations happen throughout the episode. It was incredibly funny, very tense the whole time. You didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, let's get into it. What do you want to start with?
Well, okay. Let's start with Ryan being with Homelander and Stormfront,
Yeah.
and uh, so we start off. We get them in the tower, in this Tower of the Seven. Um, you know, what's her name? Ashley pulling out her hair, trying to babysit the
Yeah.
kid all day.
Yeah.
Because I assume that's she's stressed out because she thinks he's gonna laser her to death. Um, but yeah, and then we get Stormfront trying or Homelander trying to play daddy, and goes off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, when they bring Ryan into the restaurant, I knew he was going to have an anxiety attack because
Right. He's never been around people.
he's been around like three people his whole life.
Right.
So it ends up he just gets overwhelmed with all the people, and I thought he was going to lose it and like accidentally laser something. Um, but
Yeah, I did
that did
too.
not
I thought he
happen.
was gonna mow someone down right there in the
Yeah,
restaurant.
that didn't happen. Homelander took him out of there, so yeah, that was kind of an expected turn for me.
Well, and it was unique to see because you do get to see Homelander be. He's trying, right? Like he's trying to be a dad.
Yes. Yeah,
He has no idea. He has no idea how to do it, but he's
he's
at
very
least
ill-equipped for it. Yeah.
right, and he's at least trying to do something for his son. So, and they shuttle him off to his cabin. Luckily, Doppelganger's not there anymore. Um,
God. Luckily, we don't have any more of that.
yeah, and so inevitably, Homelander tries to get Ryan to, I guess, train him or unleash his powers, and
Yeah.
and again, it's neat because you do see Homelander like he's trying to be a dad to Ryan, right? He's like, hey man, like I had to figure this stuff out on my own. Like I'm gonna help you, show you how to do it. They go outside and he's trying to get him to laser the doll, and he says he can't do it, of course, and so Homelander says, oh, well, just picture someone you hate. And then we get, oh boy, Stormfront jumped in there real quick, didn't she?
She did the same thing that she's been trying to do with all of her followers by giving him something to hate, right?
Right.
We know that Ryan's powers are very emotion based, and she tried to give him something to hate, saying like, "Hey, look, there's a white genocide going on. Uh,
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
hate us because of our skin color," and that was like trying to be her trigger. But he's such a good kid. He's like, "I don't hate anybody. Like
Right.
that doesn't
And
feel right for me."
I thought it was pretty telling because that's the first time that she says anything other than telling Homelander that she's basically like a Nazi. It's the first time that she really says to anybody, the white genocide. She says they're trying to commit white
Yeah,
genocide and they hate us because of our skin's white. So it's the first time that she reveals to anybody other than Homelander, just kind of out in the open what she thinks. She's
yeah.
kind of made comments about A Train and stuff here before, but we get to see her kind of go, full goose steps, the marching down the street in front of a tank.
She's been much more open and forward since her and Homelander got together. So
Right.
it's definitely been like them playing off of each other. Um, and soon after that, we get Becca reuniting with Butcher again in the basement because
Right. Well,
they she got out after they took Ryan.
right. So we got to backtrack a little bit. Uh, she shows up in the basement because, Butcher basically told her where he was living.
Yeah,
And so she gets out. She escapes from, I think they were in Indiana, right? Isn't that where the house was in Indiana somewhere? I think. Um,
That sounds right. I don't
I think at
remember
one
for
point when he
sure.
ends up in the parking lot, he tells him he's outside of Terre Haute or something. I think. I think I might be misremembering that,
They
but I
they
think.
say the directions again. Like he's in a flat in the east of something on under a pawn shop.
Yeah, well, I was talking about where she was. So she
Oh
makes
yeah,
her way to New York, and as she's kind of banging on the door, we see them down there getting loaded up, getting ready to, attack.
yeah.
And we see Frenchie. We see Frenchie building. Man, this guy's. I need more
I
Frenchie because
love
he's building
Richie.
all kinds of grenade launchers and.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
Frenchie's their inventor, their like mechanic. Like he figures out each soup and figures out what he can do to hurt them, and then he builds something for it. He makes something for it. So yeah, we see them basically like suiting up to get ready to take down all of the soups, as many as they can, and then Becca shows up and she has a little talk with everybody in the basement. And one of my favorite moments of the episode was when Butcher pulls Becca aside after he had been gone for a little bit, and you see Kimiko, Frenchie, and MM just smiling, just cheesing at those two
Yeah.
while they were talking, because that was the first time they had seen them together.
right, and I thought that was one of my favorite interactions of the whole show was the three of them kind of like going to Becca like she's this unbelievable superstar, right? And like
Yeah.
they're totally nerding out like talking to her, because of how highly Butcher's always spoke about her. And so I
Yeah.
thought that was I thought that was pretty neat. That made me chuckle a little bit too. And then of course Huey comes in later and does the exact same thing
Yeah.
as
They all
only
just
Huey
love.
as only Huey can do.
Yeah, Becca loves Huey. Huey loves Becca. They have a mutual understanding of each other.
Right. And speaking of Huey coming back, the reason he was coming back after Becca was there already is because he goes out with this little girl, Starlight, and they go out on an adventure, little boyfriend girlfriend adventure.
Yes.
And they go to see Maeve, right? Thinking, okay, we can get Maeve to testify, right? We get her to be a witness. She can testify on camera. And Maeve is basically, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, she's got her bong and she's like spiraling into alcoholism, so she's like
Yeah.
definitely not doing too well mentally right now.
Right.
But on their drive back, something happens.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. A Train just pops in real quick just to
Yeah,
say, hey,
he's like, "What's up?" Like,
what up?
that reminded me. If you've seen Yes Man, there's this one scene where Jim Carrey's like driving away from a conference, and this guy pops out of the pops out of the back. He's like, "Hey, don't be afraid." Like,
I thought it was
But yeah,
funny
that-
too. I thought it was funny too because I asked him like, "How'd you find us? Like, how did you know where we were?" And he's like, "I just spent the last 3 hours looking for you. I just looked."
yeah,
You
he's
know,
like,
so
"Yeah,
been
I was just
around.
running."
Yeah, he's just been running around looking for him. So the reason A Train shows up is because he gives them the file from the Church of the Collective. It took me all season 2. I finally got it. The Church of the Collective.
We weren't supposed to say it. We were supposed
I
to just
know.
get it wrong the whole time.
Well, it's the season finale, so I wanted to give the folks a little something to hang on to, you know.
Yeah.
Not just be like, this guy's a total numbnuts. Can't even remember the name of the church. So anyways, he steals the data research file on Stormfront, in which the church knows that she's who she says she is. She tells Homelander she was Frederick Vox's wife. They even threw in a little picture of her sitting at a dinner table with Hitler, which I thought was funny. And he finds out that file exists because Edgar comes to meet with I cannot remember the dude's name, but the head of the collective.
The head, yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
and it's funny you say it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting choice of words there, Tim.
Yeah. So basically, Edgar comes to meet with him, and he's like, "Listen, I know Stormfront's a racist Nazi, but she's good for business right now, and so he doesn't want to take A Train back. They're talking about taking Deep back, because Stormfront doesn't like A Train, so he's trying to like appease her basically. And then we find out they kind of dropped us in there real quick that the dude from the Church of Collective was the grandson of Frederick Vaught. They throw it right at the end of that scene of him and Edgar.
No, I thought he said. No. I don't think that's what that meant. I thought he said that his grandfather was the one that founded the Church of Collective, and that's when Stormfront joined. I don't think that was
I took that differently. Maybe I misunderstood that.
Yeah, I think he was just pointing out how he knows that like Stormfront is extremely old, like, over
Okay,
a
so
hundred years old.
that's maybe not as revelatory as I thought it was then, because I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't that make him? Okay,
He
I
would be
guess
like
that
the heir
yeah,
to the throne, but no,
I
I
guess
don't
it
think
makes
that's what that
more.
was.
I guess it makes more sense that yeah. What? Okay, I probably screwed that one up. So I spent the whole episode thinking that he was the grandfather, the grandson of Freddie
Yeah.
Vaughn. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, not that it really matters. Spoiler alert. We'll get to that in a second. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so and then he tells Newman later in the episode that they've got files on a bunch of different people, which we'll circle back to in just a little bit. But we get the Edgar and Butcher scene was my
Yes.
favorite scene. I think that was probably my favorite scene of the whole episode.
Yeah. I mean, they
You know,
finally meet.
you got Giancarlo and you get Carl Urban and talking. I just love it was just a moment of pure acting and it was great and I loved it.
Yeah. You get two characters that understand each other so deeply in terms of the power that they wield that they have a pleasant conversation essentially. Like they're both on two sides of this thing, and Butcher cuts the deal to hand over Ryan when he extracts him, and off he goes to try and pull Ryan away from Homelander and Stormfront.
Yeah, and I did think it was interesting too because Butcher basically says like, "Why do you keep supporting this Nazi racist bitch?" Right? And he says, "Listen, it's about business, dog. I mean,
Yeah.
it has to do with earnings per share and stock price." He just says just about business.
Yep.
You know.
And then, of course, at the end, you get Butcher willing to hand over his wife's son and force his wife to never see her again. And Edgar drops a little, and you think I'm the ruthless bastard.
Right. Yeah. No, that was a great. Like I said, that was my favorite scene of the episode. Great episode. Just acting, just pure acting. Just two really good actors going at it. Loved it. And then, so where do we go next? So should we just get right to the main kind of scene, or?
I just wanted to say that I can't remember which. Yeah, so Butcher was trying to do this all on his own, right? He initially said like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get Ryan out on my own." And something that Mother's Milk dropped was "Lick my big black balls, Butcher."
That was a great line.
So
that was
good.
a great line. Yeah,
because like
they're
great. So dedicated to sticking with each other. Like they are the boys, man. Like they're sticking with each other to the end. But yeah, so the next part is
so we end
Stormfront
up
being exposed.
Yeah, so they're at the cottage, and this is kind of jump back to when they were trying to train Ryan to use his powers. Right at the end of that, she gets her phone starts blowing up. Starlight and Huey had emailed all those pictures and all the evidence to, I guess, every news outlet there was. And so she freaks out, takes off. Ryan and Homelander go inside. We see the boys setting up their traps or whatever at the kind of, I guess, whatever access road is outside of this little cottage that Homelander has. And I know you didn't miss it, but we get our final milk moment of the season while they're on the couch watching the news.
Yeah.
Homelander just sipping away on a little milk.
Yeah, yeah. I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, they can't give it to us like the first 4 episodes and then just not give us any milk the rest of the season.
So the milk moment made its return at the end, which is only right. It's only right that we got that.
He probably thought it would have been inappropriate to enjoy himself in Ryan's presence, so he was just kind of he's drinking like a normal human.
Yeah, very reserved.
Yeah.
And so then the speaker phone Bluetooth horn that Frenchie set that goes off.
Yeah, because they know that Homelander's hearing is so impossibly good that they can do that sort of thing, and that was just a distraction.
Well, and Ryan too, obviously.
Yes, but they put the noise canceling headphones on.
Well, they do. Homelander juts out to go find what the noise is. Butcher and Becca show up. They put the headphones on for Ryan. She does tell him that Butcher is her husband. I'm not sure if he really understands how that dynamic works right now, but they run out with him, and then as he gets back to MM, he tells MM to take him to Mallory. Decides that he's not going to hand him over to Vought because he doesn't want to put Becca through that, and we get kind of Butcher being like truly nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do know that he is indeed ruthless, but he's always trying to do what he thinks is the right thing, even if it might be really direct and violent. And in this case, the right thing was him talking to Becca and being like, "Look, this is what I did. Um, I couldn't do it because I talked to you and I made a promise to you. So here's the deal: get in the car."
Yeah, yeah. And so, man, I thought when they were rolling out in the car, Becca, and Ryan, and Stormfront drops down and zaps the car, I was like, oh, I in true boys fashion, I thought, oh no, they just wiped out all three of them, or at least Becca
Yes.
and Mother's Milk. For
Yeah,
sure,
because
just
I was
killed
like,
them.
"Oh my god! If they blew the car up, like that would have just been
Right.
perfect moment. Like it would have been completely out of nowhere."
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, they just kill off and Becca, and
Yeah.
I really did think they were dead. And then, maybe Ryan survives that, but they threw us another loop. They end up being okay from the car crash for the moment, and then we get the kind of the hashtag that they were throwing out last night with the episode. What is it?
Girls get it done.
Girls get it done.
Yeah,
Girls
I
get it
even
done.
said that to myself because I was like, "Oh, perfect! This is I know what's
Yeah.
going to happen here."
And I would have liked to see. Well, we'll get into that. So a nice little moment from Kimiko as she tells she's gonna stick her boot up Stormfront's thumb.
Yep. She laughs. She makes
know,
noise. She has
the
a
first
vocal
time-
box.
The first time we've heard her make any noise.
Yeah.
So that was pretty important. And obviously Starlight's there, and we start fighting, and Stormfront starts to get to upper head. She snaps Kimiko's neck.
Yep.
But as we know,
Oh.
Kimiko can heal.
Yeah, we know she comes back.
Right. She can heal from just about anything. And then
She was
and then Queen Maeve shows up. We get Queen Maeve
Yes.
back
yeah.
to save the day. Had a change of heart. Maybe her high wore off a little bit. I don't know.
Which is funny to me because she had to drive there. There's
Yeah. How did she? I was like, come on.
was
we
she
can't-
just sprinting through the woods? Like, what's going on with that?
Can she run pretty fast? I mean, she's super strong.
I would
so
assume so. Like, if
Maybe
she could at least jump really far, right?
not like A-Train fast, but
We know
I'm
that
sure
she can
that
at least
being
jump
super
really
strong.
great distances.
So anyway, she stows up. All three of them start whooping Stormfront's ass.
Oh yeah.
The one thing we didn't get that we were predicting the whole season is we
Yeah.
didn't get Stormfront trying to zap Starlight and Starlight like channeling that back at her.
Yeah, which I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity because they could have easily had her like they could have still had the three of them beating her up. Like they could have had Starlight blast her and like send her flying like 100 feet into a tree, and then she
Sure.
immediately like blasts back into the area and starts like
Yeah.
beating up Stormfront or Starlight rather, and like that could have been a moment where you bring in Maeve right after that.
Yeah, so that would have been. I would have liked to see something like that. It didn't miss that, but both of us had been looking forward to that moment all
Yeah.
season where Starlight uses her power. But satisfactory villain fight there. Stormfront jumps off right before they kill her, and she finds Becca and Ryan in the woods with
Yep.
Butcher trying to get away, and she grabs Becca up against the tree.
Yep.
Starts choking her to death. I like to see
Butcher's
the light
doing
go
his
out.
best, but
Butcher's
can't do
whooping her
anything.
with a crowbar, but it doesn't bother her.
Also,
and
important note: Becca stabs Stormfront. Like we know
Yes.
that the soups have weaknesses, and not their whole body isn't impervious. She
Right.
just stabs her right in the
and
left
that was a
eye.
good one too. And also, side note, we did get confirmation that Becca used to be an agent with Butcher, so
Yes.
she can handle herself.
Yeah.
And boy, she right in the eye, gets her pretty good. And I thought the cool job with the makeup, showing the slit up and down where she stabbed her. But she starts choking. I mean, she's not gonna let go. Obviously, she's trying to kill Becca. And we get kind of the moment we all thought might happen. Ryan sees his mom in danger, freaks out, and he fries the brakes off of Stormfront. She
Yeah.
gets fried good.
We see that his laser eyes are apparently a lot stronger than Homelander's.
A lot stronger. And
he just torched. It looked like she was in a bomb. Like some of her limbs were missing pieces. Like
yeah.
she was burnt to
and
hell.
we get her so broken by his laser eyes that she starts mumbling in German. And I don't know, was it the knife that Stormfront took out of her eye that stabbed Becca? How did Becca get the throat cut?
I wasn't real clear on that when I watched it. I might have to
Yeah.
go back and watch it, but it kind of seemed like Ryan hit Stormfront with such force that she could have like pulled across her neck. I don't know what they were going
Yeah.
for there, but they were clearly trying to make it Ryan's fault because he still doesn't know how to control his powers.
Right. And I thought maybe it was gonna be that like he got her with the blast too, but it turned out that she got her throat slashed and was bleeding out.
Yes.
And she says the butcher, promise me that you'll take care of him.
Yeah.
And don't let him become like Homelander.
And make sure he knows that it's not his fault. Just keep
Right.
telling him that. Yeah.
Right. And so, in that moment after she dies, Homelander drops in. He's back, covered in blood from all the Vought agents that he just
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that
town
because he walks out of that cabin and looks like it was just like a good day at work. Like he was happy
Well,
to be in that cabin.
I thought it was pretty funny too, because as he's walking in the door, he hears them saying, "Did you get the boy?" on the radio, and they all just kind of look at him like, "Oh man, we messed up now."
Well, no, he said they asked for Butcher, which
That's
means
right,
that he
that's what it was,
knows
that's what it was.
he now knows that Vought and Butcher work together, which
Yeah, and
that'll definitely
and-
come into play in the next season.
And then he asked where his son is, and then it's, did you get the boy or whatever? And then you knew what was about to happen from there.
Yeah,
So,
well, he took his time too, because like he could have lasered all of them in half a second, but he definitely took some time.
yeah. But he was about to go ham on his own son.
Yep.
And Maeve shows up, saves the day, shows him the video and says, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna leave me and Elaine alone. You're gonna leave Butcher and the kid alone. You're gonna chill. You're gonna leave Starlight alone." And he relents. It's the first time we've kind of seen him really get backed down by somebody.
Yeah, and he also says he does make the threat of, if you release that, I'm going to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Not just everyone she
everyone.
knows. Not just everyone she knows.
Just everyone.
Everyone. He'll take
Yeah.
everybody out.
And Maeve stands her ground, and she's like, "That's fine, but I'll make sure that no one ever loves you. Everyone
Right.
will know that the monster that you are."
And that got him a little bit. He was like, "Nobody's gonna love me,"
Yeah, yeah, because like that's what he cares about. He could kill everyone, but then everyone would hate him. So like
Right.
he's always searching for that missing parental love.
Right. And so then we got kind of some tying up some loose ends at the end.
Yep.
After that, and then we also got a few new storyline introductions. We'll save the biggest one for last, but
Yes.
we get Huey and Starlight. Kind of making it Facebook official, I guess. Maybe. I don't
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Do the kids still say that nowadays? Is that what?
It definitely seems like Huey in that conversation is like, "No, I'm not giving you up. What are you crazy?
Get out of here! I'm gonna stomp the hell out of you."
I'm just not gonna be sitting in a basement under a pawn shop now. I'm gonna get my own job."
And then we get A-Train comes back to the 7.
Yep.
Deep is still on the bench.
I knew something would mess it up.
100%. You knew they were. I need him back in the 7 though, because I need him kind of with this new outlook on things. But I need him.
I hope he's just like the perennial like lovable screw up, because that's what he's turned into. Is like oh, nothing ever goes my way. Like
right. Well, but now that the racist Nazi bitch is dead, A-Train can come back and get back into the 7.
Yeah,
And,
the leader of the church was like, "Yeah, that's good. I like that you actually went and took out the dirt on Stormfront. That was good."
Right. And then we get Butcher. We get Butcher handing Ryan over to the CIA.
Yes.
I assume it's because they're the only ones that really can hide him from Homelander. I mean, it was kind of right what he said, right? Like he's got, Mallory's at the top of the CIA, and she can help him do things. She even mentions that Newman taking over the Soup Task Force is going to funnel some extra funds to her. So
Yeah.
I think as far as actually protecting Ryan, I think it's the right move.
Yeah. And Butcher also gives Ryan the best fatherly advice I've ever seen.
Yeah, just don't be a see you next Tuesday. That's fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the kid, I can't believe. It always cracks me up when they let kids say something like that.
I know, like,
on TV,
he's a 13-year-old kid, like letting him drop this on national television.
No, that was funny. So they take him away, but she offers Butcher to lead up her undercover task force for the Soup the soup division, and he kind of just walks off. Doesn't say yes, doesn't say no.
That's a yes. Let's be real. That's a yes.
I think it is because I think it's the way for him to get back at Homelander.
Yeah,
for essentially
he's not going to give that one up.
Yeah, and even though Stormfront basically killed Becca, it's still Homelander that put her in the situation like that. So he's for sure not done going after him.
He'll, as long as Homelander's around, he'll always be going after him. There's no stopping that.
And then we get then the major plot point continuation / leading into next season.
Yes.
Church of the Collective guy is on the phone with Newman. She says thanks for the intel. He says, listen, I can bring down a bunch more soups if you need. And they basically kind of cut a deal, and his head goes, and
which was really unexpected because I thought that would be a plot point.
Not just unexpected, but the soup that blows the heads up, very much unexpected.
Yes.
Because it's Newman, and we see her eyes. Newman. And everything makes sense now. We were thinking it was some sniper person that could see in the room and all that. It's her.
Yeah, and
so she was actually in close proximity to all these people while she was doing it.
And we still don't know if she's working on her own or if she's with Vought. She could be doing that for her own reasons because she's been very outspoken a bit against Compound V.
And I'm going to tell you, she's probably now my pick for most dangerous soup.
Yeah, if she can just explode someone.
She can stand next to you and you would never know it. She doesn't look like a soup. Her powers don't, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah. She's just hiding in plain sight.
Like she was in the room. She was just sitting in that room blowing people's heads up.
Yep, and she was even behind the desk at one point doing it.
Yeah. Now we do see her eyes cloud over, so it's interesting to me if maybe somewhere down the line, season 3, maybe even season 4 if we get one, somehow they find video of her use her eyes clouding up and using it, or maybe Huey's going to go work for her. Maybe he sees her inadvertently, sees her eyes clouding up and figures it out.
So since that congressional meeting was most likely taped, I think I could easily see someone or maybe Huey just going back over the footage going, there's got to be something here. There's got to be some clue as to how this happened. And then he sees it. He sees her white eyes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, he's going to get to that point after something happens again with her. Like maybe they're in some kind of strategy meeting or something and they're talking about something that's sensitive and someone gets their head popped and then Huey starts,
Yeah, maybe.
He starts maybe kind of thinking about okay, she was with the Mallory deal, then she was, in the meeting and then this and that. And so maybe it's somewhere where he puts it together, but major storyline there leading in. Major storyline with Homelander is now kind of playing the good guy with Vought again. He brings Maeve and Starlight back. And obviously he's not happy about that, but he's playing nice for now. And okay, go ahead and talk about it.
They put it in there. They put the scene in there. To clear up exactly what I'm talking about, so this is probably obvious. You have Homelander masturbating all over New York City, and they said that this scene would never see the light of day because they filmed it for season 1.
Yeah, they
filmed it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man, when I saw that, I was like, I can't believe they put this in.
Yeah.
They specifically said that Amazon said that it was too much.
Well, I think honestly, in the show of things being too much, I don't really think that was that much. I don't really think that. That's where you draw the line, Amazon.
Yeah, not the face ripping, not people's heads exploding.
So, but I think that wraps us up for season 2. Hell of a season.
Yeah.
We know we're already getting season 3. We know that's for sure. I mean, obviously the Newman and the Homelander back with Vought. I need more Giancarlo Esposito. I need more Edgar. Yeah. I need more of him, and I need more of him talking to Butcher. That scene was so freaking good.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
I mean, I guess that's it, right? We're done. Season 2. We'll just wait till the next one.
Yeah, and fuck Fresca.
It's gross. But anyways, for those of you who have joined us along this season 2 journey here, hopefully you got to nerd out along with us, talking about the episodes, recapping episodes. We're gonna try and do this with more shows that we love. Next up might be The Mandalorian. We might do that. So we'll see.
And I will talk your ear off about The Expanse. I haven't even read the book, so I'm not spoiling
Yeah.
anything for myself. But
Yeah.
I'll do a 3-hour podcast on a 10-minute clip of The Expanse.
I think we're 100% gonna do The Expanse, and from the looks of it on Facebook, I think there's a few people who wouldn't mind jumping on doing guest spots on The Expanse as well. So for sure, we're gonna do the Bros Watch The Expanse. We might do the Bros Watch The Mandalorian. We'll see. Hopefully, we get to that. But as always, like, rate, and subscribe. We've got the Sipping Around podcast we do on here too. Last week's episode was awesome. We did our we did our fantasy draft of, favorite Halloween and scary movies. So we're gonna run that back. We're gonna do part 2 again at the end of the month because there's so many that we forgot. We might do another fantasy draft here sometime soon. You never know. So thanks for joining us along season 2 of The Boys. This has been the Bros Watch The Boys. See you.
It has. Bye.